Okay. So next, what we're gonna do is look at harmonizing chorale melodies. Now, this is a major part of music theory. What this means is that we're gonna take a melody like "Mary Had a Little Lamb" or your favorite holiday song or patriotic song or any song that you know, and we are going to harmonize it, which means we are going to find chords that work for it. So we're going to find a chord progression that works with the melody. We're also going to find something that is musically interesting from beginning to end, um, meaning it's got a good phrasing and things like that. It's also going to have good cadences. And at the same time as all of that, we're going to do it in 4-part harmony, SATB harmony. So that's what we're going to do. The way we're going to do this is we're going to divide it up into kind of 3 steps. First, we're going to identify our cadences. Now, you might think that seems like something you would do last because a cadence comes at the end, right? But it's really useful to look at your cadences first. So we're going to look at our closing cadence, and then we're going to jump to the beginning and look at our opening harmony. And that'll tell us what key we're in, first of all, most importantly. And it'll also kind of give us a destination. So we'll know as we're writing our 4-part harmony, we'll already know what the end looks like, right? So what we can do then is it's kind of like we've got a target that we're aiming for, and we're not just kind of zooming around. It helps keep it much more grounded. You don't have to do it that way, but that's the way I like to do it, so that's the way I'm going to do it here. So step 2 is we're going to figure out all our chords just using Roman numerals. So we're going to go through it and put in all our chords. And then step 3 is we're going to add the bass line. And in the bass line, we're going to look for contrary motion. We're going to look for a nice contour. And then the last thing we're going to do is fill in the rest of our voices. But at that point, it should be pretty easy, right? Because we know what the beginning and the end looks like. We know what chords we're using. We know what our bass line is. And we will know what our soprano line is because that's going to be the melody that we start with. Almost always, when you're given a melody to harmonize, you put the melody in the soprano. You can do it differently, but for what we're doing now, that's how we're going to do it. It's easiest to hear a melody when it's in the soprano. It just jumps out more being at the top of everything. So that's the way we're going to do it. Okay, so I guess it's kind of 4 steps because the 4th step is to fill in all our other harmony. But, at that point, nearly everything's done. We just got to kind of keep our eye out for some breaking any counterpoint rules, but all the heavy lifting will be done at that point. Okay, so that's what harmonizing is. This is a great skill to have. This is something that if you are a pianist, a lot of the time I see pianists get really good at this, where they can just improvise their way through a melody just by looking at the melody and just, doing what falls into their hands because they know how to do this so well that they just know how to improvise a full harmonization of that melody. So let's dive in. Let's find a melody. We'll start with a short one and let's go through this process. Okay, so here we go.